Hi and welcome back to the Psychology Tips. This is number 21 and it's about running a little bit longer than you would actually feel comfortable doing. Now there's some tricks to help you go just that little bit further. Number one would be start your run off with a good warm-up. The very first 15 to 20 minutes can be the most unpleasant time for a runner because you're not warmed up. You might have been at work all day, sitting down in the car, doing stuff with the kids, and you're not actually prepared for the run. So you head off and already within the first 5 minutes you're feeling out of breath, you're not feeling good, and you contemplate actually turning around and going home. Now one of the things is to do a really good warm-up before you actually get started. So do some dynamic stretching, do a bit of activation work, so stuff like planks, getting down on the ground, activating your core, activating your glutes by doing some squats, and then start off by doing a slow walk, speeding it up a couple of minutes before you actually get into the run sequence. That can actually help you feel better at the actual beginning part of the run. Now another tip would be to if you're in the middle of the run, say, and you're not feeling good and you're thinking like, oh, I might just turn around here and go home, try to trick your mind. Try to put that out of your mind and concentrate on getting to that next lamppost before you decide, and one more lamppost before you decide to turn around. That trick often works because by the time you've got there, you've forgotten that you were going to actually turn around and you just go that little bit further. Another trick is to walk, run. Now that combination of walking and running, now when you're feeling tired, instead of giving up and saying, well, that's the end of my run, I'm going home, why not just stop and walk for 5 minutes? Loosen up, recover, let your heart rate come down, and then you'll find that you can actually start running again and you get the enjoyment back. Especially important for beginner runners who aren't perhaps used to pacing and that sort of thing. So before you give up, think about going for a walk. Walking is a really important part of running training, especially for ultramarathon running, because you're always going to be doing some walking in your ultras, and even for shorter distances or for beginners, it's a really important tool. So if you're not feeling good, take a little walk and then go back into the running when you're feeling better, and you'll find you'll go longer. Another trick, get out in the beautiful outdoors rather than running on the treadmill. If you can help it, if the weather permits and time permits, find yourself into a beautiful park on a trail somewhere, and you'll enjoy it more. You'll get into the surroundings and you'll be able to go for a little bit longer. Another one, if you're starting to feel muscle tightness in the middle of your run, if you're a beginner and you're not used to it, stop and do some stretching. Just 30 seconds to 60 seconds of stretching out the hamstrings, stretching out the quads, doing the calves a little bit, and then you'll find, okay, you're loosened up and then you can go again without pain, and that helps you. Another thing is just take a teaspoon of concrete and harden up a little bit. You know, sometimes you're going to be suffering when you're out running, and you've got to try to push through those hard times. And the longer that you start to run, the more that you'll be able to cope with the suffering that's sometimes involved, and it's teaching you mental fortitude. So don't just give up too easily. So those are my tips for today. There's plenty more, but we'll be getting back to those in the future. Cheers.